Howdy, Hillbilly Nation. This is American Hillbilly. And welcome to the Guns, Beer, and Therapy Saturday Night Party. Ready? Look at that face! One less can of hard seltzer in this world. I'm proud of myself. Howdy, Hillbilly Nation. This is American Hillbilly. Let's hear everybody say America, baby. Man, I'm so glad you guys showed up tonight. What a party we got going on tonight. Rocking and rolling side chat that just is awesome. I mean, I want to thank you guys so much for being here tonight. And these guys back here in the green room are just, I mean, they're some of the best people. Yes, they are. They're back there shooting Roman candles at each other, pop bottle rockets, drinking red, white, and blue punch. I mean, they're just having a blast back there. So anyway, I am going to bring out these guys. You've got to meet them. We're just going to have a blast tonight. So anyway, first of all, I'm going to bring out the Bubba Triclops Ballistics. How you doing tonight, Bubba?
Doing just fine, brother. Doing just fine.
All right, man. Thank you for being here tonight. I really appreciate it, buddy.
Not a problem.
All right. And then next, we have the one and only Mac Man. Welcome, Mac Man. How you doing tonight, buddy?
Hi, guys. Hi, Side Chat. Good to see you all. Thanks for the invite. Really looking forward to this. It's always a good, fun night. And thanks for the invite.
Man, thank you so much for being here. I mean, just really appreciate you, buddy. And up next, we have Viejo Walter. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing just a thrill a minute over here on this side of the country, over here on the left coast. It's a beautiful day. I'm happy to be there. Hi over there, Side Chat. You guys are already got things pumped up over there. We might not even need our own selves on this show tonight. You guys have got it going. So it's going to be a fun night for sure. I'm happy to be here, and let's keep it going.
All right, buddy. So glad to have you here. And up next, we have AR Gun 1776. How you doing, Elliot?
Doing good, man. Thank you for the invite. It's good being here with you guys on this 4th. Good to see Side Chat's popping. Good to see you.
Yes, it is. Thank you so much for showing up tonight, buddy. Sure appreciate you.
Great being here.
All righty. Up next, we have Garage Guy. How you doing, buddy? So glad you can make it tonight.
Well, thank you very much. I'll say hello to everybody on the panel. Hope you're having a good holiday weekend. Hello to everybody in the side chat. And Hillbilly, thank you very much for the link tonight.
Well, you're welcome, buddy. Always glad to have you. Thank you so much. And up next, we have JH586. How you doing tonight, Jamie?
Better than I deserve, man. You always get me while I'm typing something for the side chat over there. It's been a day. I'm off all week, so I'm looking forward to that. And I appreciate y'all having me on tonight. And hope everybody's having a good holiday weekend.
Oh, man. I appreciate you being on tonight. I mean, appreciate you every time. So thank you so much, Jamie, for being on this evening. And we have one more person in the back green room right now. So bring him out, Mr. Mark Thomas. How you doing tonight, buddy?
Oh, I'm better now that I'm unmuted. Been a real good night. It's cooling off here. We've got a little bit of a storm rolling in. I'm keeping one ear open. I might need to go off camera here a little bit and shut some windows, but been a beautiful weekend so far. Good times.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, man, so glad you're here. yeah, it's some crazy weather. We've had hot weather and then a few storms and then, this and that. I know everybody's getting different stuff, even some more smoke from Canada. And so make sure you set them briskets and pork butts outside to get smoked if you're up in that area. I mean, take advantage of that, huh? So anyway, I want to thank you guys so much for being on tonight. I want to apologize to the panel and side chat. I am going to have to get off here for just a few minutes. I had unexpected family show up tonight or today. We cooked and ate out, and they were shooting off some fireworks. And anyway, they're just about to go home, and so my wonderful panel is like, "That's okay, Hillbilly. Just go on. We don't need you. We can take care of this." And so I just want to thank you guys so much. And so anyway, I'm going to leave it with these wonderful people, and I will be back in a few minutes, guys. And y'all just have fun. Bubba, I think you got the reins on the topics and everything. So you guys, I love you all, and I'll be back in just a few minutes. Thank you all very much.
No problem. I actually got the giveaway set up and everything too, guys. Woo! All right.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Man, he put me on the spot, man. God.
I actually been
go around and say what we all do, right?
I actually been practicing Hillbilly's little gimmick thing that
Do it.
I'm not going to do it, but
No, Elliot, you got to answer. You got to talk big words.
no. Go ahead. I'm quiet.
You gonna do it?
No, I'm gonna nail it first. I don't know if I've quite nailed it yet. I'm working on it.
Yeah, you sit there, mute his mic for a little bit, and sit there, keep practicing. Okay. All right, guys. So first of all, everybody, happy Independence Day weekend. Hope you all have a good one. Hope you have a good 4th of July whenever it comes out, and hopefully you got the day off whenever 4th of July comes around. I know my place is still making me work on the 4th, so yeah, that's gonna be fun. Yeah. Everybody out there in the panel, everybody out there in the side chat, hope you all have a great 4th of July weekend, 4th of July day. And let's get this started with our first question of the night. What was some of the guns used when fighting for our independence, and what troubles did people go through with the guns, powder, ammo, and so on?
Oh, jeez.
And we'll start with, you know what, let's start with MacMan.
Thanks. I heard we just let you win, so I don't know if there's any truth in that. But
He was on the other side.
That's why I started with him.
I thought we just throw in bananas and fruit at you, and we just let you win. That's, I don't know what you guys.
Like y'all brewed the tea wrong or something like that.
All I know is it's an excuse for a party when I come over here. When I moved over here, the 4th of July celebrations, I didn't know nothing about. I arrived here and it's just an excuse for a party. So I haven't got much input on that one, I'm afraid.
Oh, well. Rob John, how about you?
Well, I'd say back in those days, they probably had trouble keeping the powder dry.
Especially if they served in the middle parts of the country,
Other
too.
than that, yeah.
Oh, no, he froze.
Well, took them a while to load too. They had to reload the ball. And they carried hatchets, little tomahawks that were used, if I'm not mistaken, and knives. So
Was it muzzle loaders they were using?
yeah, flintlocks. I don't remember the name of them. I just know that's what they were using. They had to do the thing and pack it and melt lead and everything. And those balls would tear you up, and cannonballs would tear you up.
Yeah, I think the flintlocks. Let's see. they were one of the first iterations of the flintlock. They didn't use pistols all too much. Like that was considered a dueling weapon. You didn't really use it too much in the war. Now I do know that they had several different types of muskets depending on what situation they were in, which was weird considering the fact of how far back it was. But there were certain muskets for certain situations. And I know none of them was like Kentucky rifles and stuff like that because Kentucky technically wasn't a state back then, so they wasn't even established yet.
No, they were using the Brown Bess muskets. A lot of those were smoothbore, not even rifled. 54 caliber, I believe. And man, dump that powder in there, shove that ball in, no patch, ram it down home, and fire away.
It'd break bones, that's for sure.
Yeah.
What was the range on those rifles in those days?
I don't know. It couldn't have been further than 150 yards.
Nope, not far. And they were still doing the lining up in formation, standing across from each other on the field and opening fire. Just insanity.
Until a couple of hicks was just like, wait a minute, this is stupid.
I'm going to hide behind that hay bale.
Well, how behind this tree? But yeah. Dale, you got any comments on this?
Well, you had Washington's army, then you had also what kind of like guerrillas running around, striking and fighting, hiding behind trees. Supposedly, we learned to fight like the Indians did. We didn't just go out there always and stand in formation. We had, I don't know what you call them, but little outfits, little groups, and they would
militiamen.
Yeah, militias. Yeah, the militia, and they would go out and tear people up and kill them, and this, that, and the other.
It would seem to me like small groups of commando types.
Yeah.
At night, rather to stand across from each other at 100 yards apart and blast away, and just kind of hoping for the best. And watching and see, 8 of them fell and 7 of you fell. Okay, we won. I don't think so. I'd have been out there sneaking around, skulking around at night, providing them with all the free liquor I could get my hands on and put that in their camp, and then go at about 2 o'clock in the morning and take care of business.
Was that really, but you look back on that, that was like asymmetric warfare, wasn't it? Somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
And mercenary types, even back then. Anybody ever watch The Patriot?
Best. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Patriot, where he runs around with that little tomahawk, boy, that thing is deadly.
People don't know this, but the Patriot movie actually made everybody aware. It was the first time the French didn't run away. Anyway.
So apparently, is it my turn yet?
Yeah, go ahead, Jamie.
There were some rifles being made in Pennsylvania.
That early?
Yes. They were American-made muskets. The Charleville musket was imported from France to the colonists. The Brown Bess was the English musket, smoothbore. Obviously, no cap and ball. It was flintlock or that burning rope thing going on.
Matchlock.
Yeah, whatever. But I did. It was interesting to know that George Washington didn't like those rifles much. They took too long to load because of the rifling inside. So, and you had to have a patch. And somebody in the side chat, I think it was 6-Shooter Texan. Let me go back and make sure.
Buck and ball. Yeah.
Buck and ball type thing going on, and yeah, that would be devastating. Just put a bunch of horseshoe nails down in that thing and let it rip.
Well, they did that too.
They had to.
Nails, silverware, all kinds of other stuff I think was put in there.
Well, another thing I think we don't remember is there was a big debate going on back then about whether we needed to remain under the authority of the Crown of England or whether we wanted independence. And not everybody. I would venture to say probably a majority of folks were for remaining under the Crown. That got that crutch to fall back on, but with that crutch to fall back on comes tyranny. Everything. Hey, Ron Wayne. So just like anything else, and you know they were taxing our tea, gunpowder, everything else that was imported. They were taxing the crap out of it, and then less than 100 years later, they're doing the same thing to the part of the country that I live in. We're picking cotton and they're taxing it because England's buying our cotton and we're getting too wealthy, and we can't have that. If you want to know what causes things that happen in the world, all you got to do is follow the money.
Yep.
True.
Pretty much.
All right, that's my soapbox. Go for it, Mark Thomas.
There is a great old movie. It's an old John Wayne film called Allegheny Uprising. Very, very few people know about it. And it's about this area of the country that I live in. From Philadelphia over to Harrisburg, almost over to Pittsburgh. There was a lot of warfare. French and Indian War. There was skirmishes. There was political, just brinkmanship, and that movie Allegheny Uprising is a really, really good one that details some of the history that give us what we have now, and it happened right here in my neighborhood within 2 or 3 hours east and west of me. It's pretty interesting.
Cool.
Yeah,
I have a-
that is, and I'd never heard of that film. I'm gonna have to go look for it now.
Oh yeah, it's a good one.
I have a few generals in the Confederacy that was related on my grandmother's side. One I can't name. I won't name on here.
All righty. Guess we go on to the next topic because I don't know what I'm doing. What does Independence Day stand for and mean to you? And we'll start with Mark.
Independence, the ability to take care of yourself. Because there is no one else who is going to come take care of you. The government can't make it in time. The police can't make it in time. You are responsible for yourself. And anybody that lets laws be passed that takes that right away from them is a fool. That's what I have to say about it.
Well spoken. Well spoken. Jamie.
What's the saying? Anyone who will give up freedom for security is worthy of neither.
Yep.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of wars fought by this country, and I love life, guys, and I love being on here with you guys. But you think about, hey Hasbro, you think about the people who have given their lives for our country, and it's shocking, man. It can be overwhelming at times to really think about it. And kind of like Phil Robertson used to say, "I am 911 where I live." I mean, think about it. Most of y'all probably are too. When your wife and kids get in trouble, they don't call the cops; they yell for you. They yell for you first, and you take care of stuff. And then if you have to, you call 911, but you're still handling stuff while they getting there.
Right on, Duffer.
All right, Walter.
Okay. For me, the 4th of July is about celebrating the foundation of this country and celebrating those folks who gave up everything literally that they had, you know, given the transportation system and the communication systems and everything that was in or not in place at that time, and just flicked it all into the ring and said, we're out of here. You know, come hell or high water, we're out of here. We don't need this stinking government anymore. You've become too oppressive, and we're going to go start our own construction, and we're going to build us a nation the way we want it built. And that's pretty much what I celebrate on the 4th of July. Is I celebrate the laying of those first bricks of this country, and you know, it's a time to reflect back and see what those bricks were made of, and make sure that we haven't turned, you know, all of that hardware into, you know, cheap plastic, and a lot of that's starting to happen. So we got to keep that same attitude that the country needs to stay solid on that foundation that was originally constructed by those folks, and all the blood that they shed and all the hardships they endured to establish this country to begin with. So that's kind of where I am with the 4th of July. You know, it's not about the fireworks. You know, there's some secondary things, you know, time to spend with family and so forth, and that's also important. You know, you think about those folks that came here originally, a lot of them left family behind, never to see them again, you know, and that's kind of how, you know, a lot of them spent, you know, their first, you know, year or so of quote unquote independence. Family was nowhere to be seen. And so that's part of it for us, you know, and as Mac said, there's a certain amount of a party atmosphere, and we all appreciate and enjoy that. That's always a fun part of it too, as long as we don't lose sight of why we're in that celebratory mode. So that's where it is for me.
Elliot.
Some of the same things Walter said, the bricks, laying the foundation. You look back at it, only a very small minority of people actually favored independence and actually went out there and fought. I forget the numbers, but it was very low. Goes to show you all this consensus stuff you hear in modern times is kind of weird to me, because we're not designed to have consensus in this country. We're you know, it's the way it's set up. It's supposed to be very hard to do things. And you hear a lot, I know I'm getting political, but you hear all these, you know, things on TV occasionally. You hear, well, everybody needs to work together, the parties. Well, we weren't designed to do that. That's the point. We're not supposed to work together. If they want to do something and some of us don't want to do it, we don't do it. We're a free nation, and we fought for that in 1776 and got our independence. Charlton Heston said back in the 90s, when around, I think it was around the time the assault weapons ban came up, he made a speech at the NRA, and he actually said, this generation, which he's talking about me because I was young, he said, what we're doing now with gun laws being passed in the 90s, and that probably included the assault weapons ban, but I'm not for sure on that, so don't quote me. He said, you all should be knocking the doors down. In this generation, you're a bunch of cowards. You don't do nothing. You just sit home, basically is what he meant. And all these laws just get passed. And we'll get on our phones, and we may call and we'll email. That's what we do. You know, it's about the only thing we know to do. If you do the other thing, you're in big trouble. So, but what's ironic is we are designed to do that thing. And you all know what I'm talking about on that one, to rise up and stop a tyranny. So, but yeah, it's freedom. Very small minority. And the founders knew we would lose this country if we weren't careful. They knew even when they were, putting it together. So just some thoughts. I had relatives actually fight in that thing. I can't name them because a few of them, I just don't know the name and remember them. I got them in some paperwork and on a CD back there. and stored in a suitcase. But anyway, that's enough. I'll shut up.
Garage guy.
Well, what I usually do on 4th of July, I think about other countries. And even though America might be kind of in a mess today, we're still far better off, excuse me, than a lot of people in a lot of other nations across the world. I mean, I can drive 20 minutes this way, North Carolina, 20 minutes that way, Tennessee, an hour that way, West Virginia. And guess what? There are no guards at those state lines. I don't have to show anybody any papers. We're free to go as we please, you know. Look at Soviet Union back when Stalin come in, confiscated all the firearms. At Germany, when Hitler got in, well, those firearms got confiscated too. Look at us. You know, there's people up in Washington trying to take away a lot of our rights. But, you know, like he said, you know, working together was, you know, the politicians, it wasn't designed that way, you know. One people's going to have opinions about one thing, one's going to have opinions about others, you know. But still yet, at least we still have our rights. And I think about these people in these other countries that aren't even close to us. You know, they got to go to work 6 days a week, come home, that's about it. You know, we pretty well got it made here in America. And I'm grateful for that.
All right. You know what, Mac, man, I don't even know what you're going to say, but go ahead.
Well, I'll be honest with you guys. I'm glad you got it, because at the end of the day, I lived in the UK for whatever years, and I wanted to move over here, and it was the best decision I ever made. It's the way of life over here is better. You definitely got more freedom over here than what we got in the UK, and it was a good move. I'm glad I moved here, and it's like Garage Guy say, it's different countries have got it pretty bad, and it's not that good in the UK. And I'm just glad that you all accepted me over here, give me a chance to move here and live here with my family, and I really appreciate it. And take my hat off to all you guys for allowing us to do that. So just thanks.
Sounds good. I was going to say we kicked your ass. No, I'm not joking. Great to have you here, though, Mike. You know that. That's a joke.
We didn't really. They just got mad and took their ball and went home. That's all.
Yeah, Cornwallis just got really upset. Said, "Well, the heck with this. I'm going home." Oh, I guess I got to do it, don't I? Independence Day. What does that mean to me? That's a hard question because it means a lot of things to me. It means a lot of what you guys are saying, and it means a lot to me just because I have fond memories of Independence Day and fond memories of just hanging around my family members that ain't here anymore, family members that served in wars and that used to tell me their stories and stuff. What it means to me is just memories. It's a comfort. Independence Day is a comfort for me. Most holidays are for me, but Independence Day is another one just because all the war stories I got told, you know. Two of my uncles were POWs in World War I and World War II, and they used to tell me stories and stuff like that, or they had like diaries and stuff that I would read and everything, describing everything and all the hardships and stuff they had to go through. And I gotta tell you, I enjoyed it as a kid. I enjoyed learning them stuff. So memories is what's important to me on that. But anyway, Hillbilly's back. So Hillbilly.
All right, boss. What I got to do? I got to answer this question.
What does Independence Day mean to you?
First of all, I want to say something to Hasbro out there. Said I should randomly do a drink test for the panel. You got to weed out the Bud Light and hard seltzer drinkers. So that's a good idea, buddy.
Good to see you, Hasbro.
Oh, man.
I don't drink beer at all. So.
Thank you so much. I mean, I literally turned on my phone and was listening. I mean, you guys are doing awesome. I love it. What a great group of people you are, man. I love it. Independence Day for me. America, baby. So every time I think of an Independence Day, I mean, I look at it as a David and Goliath moment, you know. I mean, you know, these people hardly stood a chance against this fleets of, you know, a strong country. I mean, probably one of the strongest countries in the world at the time, right?
Yep.
And you know, so it really had to be hard. I mean, it really had to be tough decisions that they had to make for their families, and you know, the sacrifices that they did. And it also brings back to me, so doggone it, I was gonna like search this on my phone because I know it, I didn't want to mess it up, but our national anthem, the guy that wrote that, because anybody help me out, I know it, I just went blank.
I can't think of it.
Francis Scott.
Francis.
Francis Scott Key. So, you know, if you know anything about the history, please look up the history of that right there when he wrote that song. It had to be like so emotional for him to write that. And unless my facts are wrong, Mark, I'm sure you can correct me on this, being the history teacher that you are. He was out on a British ship.
Yeah, he was technically a prisoner.
Yeah, prisoner, but he was up on deck and the prisoners were down below. From what I understand, he had a little more authority or power, but he was a prisoner. I believe working out a trade or like some type of he was more or less a little bit of a spokesman or something, I guess. But as he stood there on that ship, and as they bombed that fort, he was told, "We're going to bomb this fort until they lower that flag." And they bombed this fort. And Mark, please correct. Can you give me the name of that fort?
Sumter.
Huh?
I think it's Sumter.
Yeah.
Fort McHenry.
McHenry, sorry.
Yeah, McHenry. Okay. And so the people who's in this fort, if I'm not mistaken, were basically elderly gentlemen and women and children. I'm sure a few officers or whatever, because everybody was out fighting. And so they bombed this fort, and that flag stood. And so they added more ship. Focus on, we're going to bomb this fort till that flag comes down. And they kept bombing. They kept bombing this fort. And that flag, it leaned. It was tilted a little bit, you know, but it never fell. And from what I understand, you know, with what part of the history I know and all that, that's kind of when they gave up. They're like, okay, they're not backing off. We told them all they got to do is lower their flag and we will stop bombing. And we sent everything we have, you know, on this fort, and that flag still stands. Well, come to find out, when the smoke cleared and all that stuff, the reason that pole and that flag stood still, standing, was there was piles of dead bodies holding up that pole. for that flag not to fall. They knew the sacrifices, and they sacrificed themselves. We're talking, women and children also. And they knew that that flag went down. It meant that they surrendered, and they still stood. They sacrificed everything they had to hold that pole up. And man, what a sacrifice that is. And so, that's one small part of everything that went on so that we can have our independence, to this day and have our freedom. And so, Bubba, that right there sticks on my heart and in my mind when it comes to Independence Day. So,
Well, you're here, brother. You go ahead and take your stream back over. I ain't no good at this.
man, listen, you guys, you're doing great, buddy.
Oh, hey, look,
So-
we got a Lizard Larry.
All right. Lizard Larry,
What's up, everybody?
other known as Gizzard Gary. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing
Hey.
all right. Sorry, I just basically got everything put away, and hopped on the computer. So
All right.
a little
glad to
late getting
have
out of
you.
my daughter's house today. So
Hi, Gary.
guess I could turn on the camera too. Let's see if it works. It's
I can
me.
turn on the camera as long as you ain't got that excess sights hat on.
Why? What's wrong with that?
Nothing. I just like messing with you.
It's right
He's just
here.
jealous- He's just jealous because he didn't win one of those sides.
I'm just jealous because I ain't got an Aegis hat yet either.
I had to buy my Aegis hat. I had to buy this too. This is a Live Free Armory hat, and it wasn't free either. And this is just a 511 patch hat. Excess Sights gave me a patch, and I stuck it on there.
nice.
That way, it gets to be whatever kind of hat I want it to be.
All righty. So welcome, Gary, man. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Did I miss
we-
anything?
Yeah, when we just actually was finishing up the first question, and it was, what does our Independence Day, mean to you? And we're gonna go on into this farther, but just Independence Day, and see, what does Independence Day stand for and mean to you? I believe it. Yeah, that's what it is.
The snake. Don't tread on me.
No step on the neck.
So, are you asking me in particular? Is that
Yeah. I believe
Okay.
everybody else on the panel's answered.
everybody
buddy.
else has answered? Okay. Well, obviously, I came from. My dad was World War II veteran. Come from a fairly patriotic family, so it always meant a lot. The independence of this country and that American flag always meant a great deal to my dad, and he kind of brought us kids up to be the same way. So Independence Day was always, we knew what we were celebrating, from a long time. Even as kids, we knew what Independence Day meant. And of course, it also meant, that you got to shoot firecrackers and stuff like that. And you might get to grill steaks or hamburgers and stuff like that. But on top of everything else, you saw all the flags. Sometimes you had a parade in town and stuff like that. And if you went to ball games, they had special celebrations and stuff. Just kind of a special, let's celebrate being America, the land that we are and stuff like that. I know we take plenty of chances to do that, but that's the biggest one because we're celebrating our freedom. And I think a lot of people have lost touch with what that means. And it is tougher and tougher as we go through these times and stuff like that because we got so many infringements on our freedoms. But I think we need to keep in mind that, our forefathers had this idea. A lot of people died trying to keep this idea alive. And so it's a huge deal every time we celebrate becoming the great nation that we are. I think it's okay to take pride in that because it's important that we want to keep it that way. That's what it means to me.
Man, that's such a great answer, buddy. Oh man, I love, you know, I like all of our holidays. You know, they all, most of them really seem to mean a lot to me. That there's a few that really, stand out to me that mean a lot. Through, like you say, like from, our grandparents, our parents, or us as a children growing up. And so I'm so excited to get to have the show with you guys, and us get to talk about all this. And so I see Bubba's already got the hashtag out there, guys. Make sure you do the hashtag HBN26 for tonight's drawing, and it is going to be a albatross knife. I give away here a lot, and I will show you a little bit more about it when it's time to have the drawing. So anyway, that's what the drawing is going to be for tonight. So let's go ahead and move on to the next topic, guys. Let's see. All righty, here's the next topic. And I figured we could have a lot of fun with this. I mean, this is, with the panel and the side chat. We have, like, I know personally I have some great moments that I had as a kid that meant a lot. But then also I have just as equal, wonderful moments as an adult, maybe with children or friends and grandchildren or whatever the case might be. So anyway, I don't know where you started at last time, Bubba, but let's just we'll just do a little different here. Let's just start with Jamie and first. Okay, Jamie.
What are some of my greatest memories of the 4th of July as a kid and as an adult?
Yeah.
As a kid, we'd all go to my granddad's house, my mother's dad, and hamburgers, hot dogs on the grill, watermelon in the cooler.
You betcha.
Homemade ice cream. I mean, y'all remember homemade ice cream?
Oh man, love them ice cream socials and homemade ice cream.
I was the oldest grandson and the only boy, so guess who got to crank the ice cream churn until it was too hard to turn? So, yeah, there's that. And I think as an adult, my favorite memories were my little kids. My kids were small, carrying them to their first fireworks display and watching their reaction to, I talked about it a little bit last night, but our little town here sits on 3 rivers, and we have an awesome place to have a fireworks show at the park downtown where the 3 rivers come together, and on a calm night you can see the reflection of the fireworks on the water. And
nice.
We used to have our orchestra play 1812 Overture, and we had right there where the cannons went off, they would fire fireworks and all that. That was great fun. But seeing my kids' reaction to the fireworks as good a memories as my time with my grandparents back on the 4th of July.
Man, that's great, man. I can almost picture everything you're talking about because, I lived a lot of that myself, buddy. So we'll go on up here to Garage Guy. So what's your greatest memories, of the 4th of July as a kid and as an adult?
You're muted, Garage Guy.
You're muted,
Can't hear
buddy.
you.
We can't hear you. Hey, we can't hear you.
How about now?
That's good.
There we go. Now we can
I
hear you.
apologize for that.
Yeah, we were working on that
Uh,
sign language, but we weren't for sure exactly what
all
all
right.
you was saying.
Anyway, I was saying my internet's starting to act a little stupid here. Once in a while, y'all kind of freeze up. I think we might have some weather in, so if you lose me suddenly, it's beyond my control.
No problem.
But,
Jump
as
back
far
on
as,
and we'll bring you
My
right
memories
back
of the
on.
4th of July. All right. There was a factory in a neighboring town that put on a fireworks show every year, and my parents, grandparents would take me to see it. It might have only lasted maybe about half an hour, but as a kid, that was a big deal. There weren't a lot of fireworks shows around. Those fireworks shows, I was majestic back in the summer of '88 at Fort Jackson, South Carolina. I was stationed there. Their fireworks show was incredible, very patriotic. It pretty much brought a tear to my eye. And that's something I'll never forget. And I have yet to see anything like it since then.
Man, that's awesome, buddy. That is
The
great.
states, the territories. I mean, it was just done right. It was really special.
Cool.
All right. That's awesome. Yeah, I think we heard most of everything you were saying. You were breaking up a little bit, buddy. And for some reason, if we do lose you, just jump right back on and we'll throw you back up on the screen too, buddy. I know those storms can really mess with the internet. So anyway, guys, I don't know exactly what I was looking at my my hashtag HBN26 for the deals, and it only shows 11 entries, so I don't know if something happened, like it didn't get started early enough. So everybody be sure and type that in again, because it won't double entry it, but if for some reason it didn't pick your first one up, it will add you to it. So I don't know. I think there's more than 11 people that's entered. Yeah, they're okay. It's starting to go up. Yeah, make sure you type in that hashtag HBN26 to get in the drawing for tonight. I apologize. I just happened to look at it. I'm like, there's more than 11 people in this thing, surely. So, all right.
I can't believe you're up to number 26 already.
I know. Ain't that something? I didn't figure you guys all stick around past 1 or 2. Like I said, when I started, I said, well, we'll do this till nobody shows up. And then, as long as everybody shows up and has fun, we'll just keep doing it. There, that number's going up now. Yeah, there we go. All right. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened, but anyway, so Elliot, we'll go ahead and go to you, buddy.
Oh gosh, I had memories. I still remember it. My aunt had she had the electric though, not the hand crank. Even when I was in the 60s, she would make ice cream in that thing. It was blue. I actually have a cheaper version up in the attic. I've never used this electric, but we used to make ice cream. My biggest thing was firecrackers. I was back in the age where M80s were real M80s. They would blow your friggin' hand off.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah, we would blow. Man, those days we'd blow toilets up. I shouldn't really. I can't say one thing because it belongs to the federal government. When I was young, and I don't know if I'm out of the loop yet, or what do they call that?
Statute of limitations.
Yeah, statute of limitations. Yeah, I don't know, so I got to be quiet about that. But
Look at the guys who know, and then ask them how they know.
But I love the M80s, the originals, man. I remember them things were amazing. But I used to get black cats and firecrackers, and me, I always lived kind of dangerous as a kid. I sat there and I let it go right to the end and release it where it blow up a few inches from my fingers. I would just do that and then wait till the last minute and then flip it. Sometimes it went off in my hand or close to it, and I never did the M80 that way though. When it lit, and I have held them, poof, get rid of that thing because I knew it would take my hand off. I've seen them put it inside of a tree, a hole in a tree, boom. And back then it would blow a toilet totally up. I mean, just like a bomb hit it if you drop one in it. And it would also break the seams of what I was talking about that I can't say. But it was fun times when I look back on it. Firecrackers was my thing. I liked it. That ice cream. And I went and seen fireworks too as years. I didn't do it when I was real young. We didn't go out and really do the fireworks thing. We'd see a neighborhood, people do it. But as I got in my 20s, we went out, started going to Atlanta and watching the big giant stuff. Used to go at some mall over here. I can't even remember the name of it anymore. Not Lakewood. Lenox Square. I used to go there a lot. Even ran into my chiropractor there one time. Was there back in the late 70s. Back in those days. But that's about it. Ice cream, fireworks, cooking out, and watching war movies as a kid. I was raised on, my uncle was nothing but a nut for John Wayne cowboy movies and shows and stuff like that. So that's all I remember as a kid. He'd sit for days, on weekends and holidays and watch that stuff nonstop. And so I didn't grow up necessarily on cartoons like most kids. I mean, I did watch them, but I actually seen more television through my uncle than I did anything when I was a kid. Be Tarzan, Westerns. I still have a fascination with those 45s.
Yeah.
Like Walter's got, which I'm going to come over and steal one. I'd love to have one.
Right. Well, I appreciate
Out of
that,
my
Elliot.
cold dead hands.
I'm going to get one day.
So, Mark, what do you think, buddy? What's your fondest or greatest moments of 4th of July as a kid and as an adult? All right, well, let's go on to you, Gary. Mark will be back here in a minute.
Well, I got a few.
All right.
Other than what I mentioned before, used to be when I was a little kid, we would have a city display. You went to the city park and they would shoot off, for everybody. The fire department put it on. And at the end, I can remember the high school football stadium was down there in the park, and they would hang this big American flag firework off the scoreboard. So at the very end of the evening, they would light off that American flag. And that was a sign that everything was done. I thought that was so cool. And then probably like everybody, we had bottle rocket wars when I was a teenager. I mean, I guess everybody went through that. When I got to be a little older, my parents put me in charge of shooting off the fireworks for the whole family. So I got to entertain my sisters and their husbands, my nieces and nephews until I had kids. And then once I started having kids, and of course, we'd get them involved. But I can remember one time my kids were little, and we had this thing, and it was 5x5. It had these rockets in it. It was square. When Dad would set this piece of concrete out in the middle of the yard, and we would shoot everything off there. Well, I lit this thing. For some reason, one or two went off, and it flipped the thing sideways. And so there was about 23 of these things that were all of a sudden aimed towards the patio where we were all sitting. I never seen so many adults scatter in my life to get out of their lawn chair. It was hilarious. We all laughed about it afterwards. Nobody got hurt, but I can remember that as long as I live. And like I say, my kids in the fireworks, watching them enjoy it and kind of, going back in time to when I was a kid. And then finally, my granddaughter, when she got old enough, we actually got her some sparklers and stuff like that. And so I think once you got kids around, it all kind of comes back to you and you start enjoying it again. But seems like a lot of my memories had to do with fireworks because that's always a big part of what you do around the 4th of July. So, yeah, that's what I remember.
Oh yeah, man,
Combat.
that's awesome. A lot of great memories there, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
So, Walter, we'll move on up to you, buddy.
Sure. You know, as a kid, and we were talking about this on Georgia just last night. In fact, we were saying kind of question. And for me, you know, when I was a real young kid, and I'll say between ages 4 and 10 or 11 or so, we were living in town, and after that, we moved out in the country. Things were a little different then, but when we were living in town, that was in the 50s. So I'm up there. You were talking about hand crank ice cream. When I was a kid, the world wasn't old enough to have ice yet. So,
Wow.
So that was a long time ago. And I told some friends just yesterday that I just turned 76. So all them trombones blew for my birthday, all 76 of them this year. So this year's, 1776, a little more meaning for me than it usually does, but I normally don't celebrate my birthday. But when we were kids living in town, it was during the 50s. And we just got done with Korea, and none of the moms worked. There was no both parents working deal. The moms were all at home, dads worked. So the moms all were kind of running the community. And we had a 4 or 5 block radius where I lived. And I lived in a small town, about 8,000 people when I was a kid there. And so we all knew everybody, on both sides of the town. And it was an agricultural community. So we had a lot of migrant workers. And so you got along with everybody, or you didn't eat. I mean, it was kind of that way. So we had these block parties, and we would block off the streets, for a couple blocks. And, the local cops were in favor. They didn't want traffic running through there anyway. So, and all of the families would contribute whatever fireworks they could afford. And we'd do that. And we'd have the barbecue grills and stuff would be out in the front yards instead of the backyards. And as kids, you could run around all night long and not worry about it back then. You could walk the 5 or 8 blocks to the movie theater at night and back and not worry about it. Moms, that weren't concerned about it. So we would run around all the barbecue grills and grab a hot dog here and a piece of French bread over there and a rib over here, and lighting off firecrackers and sparklers all the way. So it was not just a backyard celebration. It was a community celebration. And when you're real young, you don't quite get what the celebration is all about. All you knew it was a celebration and a time for the community to kind of come together, and all of your friends were there at the same time and in the same place. So that was a big deal in and of itself. And you didn't learn till later on why it was that the adults went through all of that trouble to provide that opportunity for you. They had to explain it to us multiple times, in my case anyway, why the 4th of July was more than just the barbecues and the fireworks, what it meant to the adults. But when we were little kids, that was enough for us to realize that there was something big about this day. It was something way, 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 way different from your birthday, or even maybe from Christmas, or any of the other celebrations. 4th of July was a great, big, big deal, and I think those kinds of celebrations sort of carried me through, and until I got older, and I'll reflect, down here to Mark a little bit, because Mark knows I was a school teacher too for a long time. And never having been married and not having kids of my own, as I grew up and got older, there were family celebrations and stuff. So that was there, at least in part. But it wasn't really until as an adult, maybe in my 40s, when I was teaching high school physics. And my students that I had actually had a functioning central nervous system and could use it. And, the 4th of July is typically beyond the limits of the school year, but we would get together at the end of the year in my classes and talk about what was going on in the summer. And those kids knew about 4th of July. And so this would have been in the early 2000s or so that I was doing this at that particular stage of my life. And those 17, 18-year-olds, those kids had it together. They knew what the 4th of July was, and we attribute that to our history teachers, and at my school, those people did a good job, and they knew about the sacrifices that people had made so that they could live to grow up and go to school and have the freedoms and the liberties that they have today. So that was always an inspirational time for me, was to sit down with those 17, 18-year-old young adults and talk about such things. That was a big deal for me, to talk about American liberty and the 4th of July with people that were that much my junior. I would try to think back to when I was their age. When I was 16, 17, all I could do to keep my feet out of jail. So, and here I am back in YouTube jail. I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you had trouble with jail for a while, hadn't you, buddy?
So anyway, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you, Walter, for sharing that. So, MacMan, I know you didn't get to celebrate that here as a kid, but later on after you moved here and stuff, I'm sure you probably have some moments that you really had, where you had a good time with your children or grandchildren or with friends and stuff. So
what we try and do is we try and arrange. I live in a great neighborhood, and I get on well with the neighbors around us, and we all sort of do things together. And I always try and throw a party. We get a bounce house in for the kids. We've got the pool, we've got barbecue going. We get everybody to bring a bit of food, and then at the end of the night we do the fireworks thing, and it's just, to me, it's great. And I just, like I had tonight, there's been a lot of banter about, they all tease me because I'm from the other side of the pond, and a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun. So to me, it's great to have a day off, spend it with the family, and have the neighbours round, and just all get together. And tonight, just sitting here listening to you guys going, telling the stories, to me, it's great, and learning a bit about it, because I don't really know a lot about it, only what I hear when I'm here. And it's just great to be able to sit down with you guys and listen to you telling the history and the stories. And to me, that's great. I really enjoy it.
Well, one thing, MacMan, I have a really good friend that he's still in London. He lives there, born and raised there. And I trade stocks with him. And great guy. And I asked him, I was like, so here a few days ago, like, so you guys got any plans for this weekend? Celebrating 4th of July? And he goes, no. He goes, what's that, like Labor Day holiday for you guys? And I'm like, no, we're celebrating being away from you. We're all joking and having fun. And, and I explained to him, I was like, bro, we were trying, the reason it's not that people don't like people from England. That has nothing to do with it. Most everybody was from England, a lot of them. And it's just trying to, have freedom of religion, be able, their right to bear arms, just to be a free country. And, I explained to him, I was like, it has nothing to do with like hating or being mad at somebody from England. It's like, we love you guys. You guys are like our best, ally, I was like, nowadays. So, it's, so I always want to put that out there for people that, like in your case, might be from Europe or England area and stuff, as far, I feel like I'm as American as anybody. I love it. And I have no hatred or nothing from, people from that area, nowadays or anything like that, And so I just hope that you understand that, and anybody else that might be watching this from a, other country than the United States. It's not that. It's just we're celebrating to like have this channel in this community, the freedom we have, our Second Amendment, stuff that, we're just so thankful for. That's what they were fighting for. It wasn't against a person, it's against like a king and queen, tyranny, rulership over not letting somebody have their freedoms, and so that's what it was about. And, and I think, everybody probably feels the same way. I mean, am I wrong, guys? I mean,
No, you're right.
But all I can say
No,
is
not at all.
you can love the Welsh like me. You can love the Irish. You can love the Scottish, but you've got to hate the English because I do.
Yeah, there is a little discomfort between those countries and England also. So,
Especially when it comes to the rugby and the football and everything. Yeah, we're very proud and like we love each other, but we hate the English. Always has and always will.
oh man.
Yeah, people. You know what? People are people the world around, and you can go to Mongolia, you can go to China, you can go to Japan, you can go to the Azores, you can go to Haiti and the Dominican Republic. People are just people. What that whole thing was about was about a conflict of the philosophy that government has towards people, I think, and we're to a degree we've continued to fight that battle here in this country. And I was talking with the Scottish American today on the phone. I talked to him for about an hour, if you know the Scotsman, and he was an immigrant also, and went through the whole all of that process to become an American citizen, and is darn proud to be an American. And we talked a lot about today about what that meant. And it's not that anybody was hateful towards one particular group of people. It's about our inability to feel that we can be successful under the thumb of an oppressive government, and that those kinds of conflicts are still with us today, not just globally, but within the country, as we all know. And you know what I'm talking about, that those conflicts are still here. And the day we give up fighting that battle is the day we lose the entire country, and we'll have to start all over again. So, I mean, those kinds of battles are going to be here all the time, and it's probably a good thing that they will be. We need that conflict. We need those differences of opinion to keep the vitality in this country that we've got now.
Yeah. Some people probably feel that towards our HOA,
Yeah.
Like, man. All right. So, Bubba, you're up next, buddy.
Well, I've already said that I always liked hearing the stories that my uncles used to tell me when I was a kid and stuff, but I do remember one particular thing. We had a community fireworks shooting. One of my uncles, not one that had the war stories or whatever, but it was one of my great uncles. His neighborhood would throw a gigantic block party and such, and he'd spend like $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 on fireworks. I mean, he went nuts on 4th of July, and he'd set up these things all the way around. Now the court kind of ended in the subdivision kind of ended in a giant circle. It was called Dulcie Court, and it was this gigantic circle of about 10 houses at the end of this road. So he had the entire circle lined up with different pipes, different structures, and stuff like that, just to shoot the fireworks up in the air. And I remember watching that as a kid, and I enjoyed every last bit of it. It was so much fun and stuff. And that uncle has passed away since, and one of my other uncles has tried to take over for it. So, but I remember distinctly one year, and everybody has one guy in their neighborhood that is the biggest piece of trash in the world. Everybody has one guy in their neighborhood.
Just don't be that guy.
And this guy was a braggart and a I'm better than you in every way, every conceivable way. He was a bully and stuff to me and my cousins and stuff as kids. And one year, we got tired of it. So on the 4th of July, we took a couple bottle rockets, and this guy was drunk. And he was walking around bragging or something like that or whatever. And we ran up and stuck bottle rockets in the crack of his hat and lit them on fire. And he never knew who did it because he was too drunk and nobody ratted us out. Nobody ratted us out. It went off. He cried like a little bitty baby girl. Didn't even really hurt him. It just kind of like had powder on his back or whatever. You know, they weren't real strong. They were about not that big, you know. And so I had a lot of fun that year. I mean, don't get me wrong. We still got butt whoopings, by the way, right after that. So Grandpa did get the old belt out of his loops and wore me out. But he laughed beforehand.
Be careful around Bubba.
Made you laugh. So yeah, but don't do it again.
Be careful around Bubba.
Oh man!
So I absolutely enjoyed that. And as an adult, you know, seeing my other uncle who was his brother take over for him, and pretty much he goes overboard though. He spends like $12,000, but he's rich. So $12,000 is kind of like throwing out a quarter for him. But he took over doing the fireworks stuff because they were really close. They were super close. And you know, seeing him try to keep the memory alive with his area has been nice. And oddly enough, he lives in Taylorsville, and his area is actually a giant circle in the end of the road too. So it just makes me laugh even more just to see that his court's the same way that the other court was.
Hey, Tom.
Awesome. Hey,
evening, everyone.
Welcome. I hope you weren't back there very long. I just happened to look down. I seen you in the backstage. I'm like, oh no.
No worries. Sorry for the delay in getting on.
Man, it don't matter what time you come on. You're always welcome, everybody. So glad to have you. So we've been talking about 4th of July and Independence Day and everything. And this is great because you were not an immigrant, but your parents were. Is that correct?
Technically, I am an immigrant. My mom brought me over when I was 3, but I don't remember much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is awesome because, you know, same with like MacMan, you know, he was not born here too, you know, and so we're talking about Independence Day, and so we'll just let you go. So a few things we've covered before. We talked about guns and stuff that they used back then, but really, like, maybe if you could just go ahead and fill in your thoughts on what Independence Day means to you, and then like some like fun moments you remember as a kid, and then also now as an adult.
Absolutely. So,
yeah,
Independence Day has always been like a fun event. I mean, I grew up in Southern California, and back then we could still set off fireworks. And I used to, you know, go to my cousins, and you know, we'd get my uncle would get a box of those fireworks, and we'd set them off in the driveway or in the street. And when I lived in New York City, the Macy's fireworks display was amazing. Something that, you know, I'd get a chance to watch from a roof in Brooklyn, or a couple of times got a chance to see from somebody's apartment near the river. And it's just amazing. So that's probably one of my favorite memories. It's kind of funny that I just came back from a trip to New Jersey, and the entire trip, well, Mark knows because I was there for putting on my charity event, my charity airsoft event. But while we were there, I made it a point to take my kids down to Philadelphia to go to Independence Hall. So I
Yeah.
took them on a trip there, and we were right in the heart of where our country started, and I've been encouraging my son to watch this animated series called oh gosh, what is it now? It was this animated series came out like in the early aughts, 2000s, about these two young kids. One of them is an apprentice to Benjamin Franklin, and they really did a good job of portraying lots of the little stories about the independence, the revolution. Liberty's Kids, I think it was called. I don't know if any of you guys had kids that age where that was on TV, but I was really impressed with some of the stories. I mean, it's a kid show, so they're gonna play around with some of the stories, but they included little things like the debates between the loyalists and the independence folks. So they really told it from both sides, which I thought was remarkably fair and something that was interesting to include in a kids cartoon show. But so the entire time I tried to get my son to go, hey, look, this is where the Benjamin Franklin sat, and we saw a copy of the Declaration of Independence there, including the inkwell. They had the inkwell that was actually used to sign the Declaration of Independence, and I thought that was just awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you guys ever had a chance to go to Philadelphia. It's great, and it's free. You just have to make a reservation ahead of time to get a tour. But it's a great tour. We even got the chance to go to the Senate, the original Senate Hall where Thomas Jefferson and John Adams were debating, and hear stories, and also at the time it would have been the Senate meeting hall was above the House of Representatives hall, and we got to sit down in the chairs there. So that was a cool trip. As far as any other thoughts on Independence Day, I think it's pretty traditional here in San Francisco, but with a little bit of a strange twist. I don't know if you guys are ever on Nextdoor, that social media app.
I've heard of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, really, they should rename it the Karen Nextdoor, because there's always comments on there. It's filled with average folks. It's supposed to connect people in your neighborhood and the way they divide things up. But I remember the first time coming when we moved from New York to here, where my wife grew up, and people were around Independence Day, like just now would be their kids or whoever are shooting off practice fireworks and firecrackers. You can hear them at night. That's pretty typical I from my memory. But people would be posting up on social media here. There's like, is that gunfire? Is that gun? I'm like, no. Obviously, they can't tell the difference between fireworks and gunfire, and it just shows how clueless a lot of the city folk here are. And one of the most classic complaint I saw was some woman was, or I'm assuming woman, posted up about that she hates 4th of July because the fireworks cause her diabetic rescue cat stress and to hide. It's like,
oh boy,
it's 4th of July. Come on.
Oh, that's so funny. Well, you said that. I gotta say this on my stocks Discord that we trade stocks with and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
One of the people said, I said, well, me being in the country, I know there's restrictions in the city, but I really don't feel like there should be restrictions outside the city, stuff like that. And somebody goes, well, probably because like my sister has this dog and it's like really scared of fireworks and stuff. I said, so you're telling me we should not celebrate our independence because of a dog? I said, come on. I said, vets make medicine. I said, my dogs don't like them either, but we go to the vet and we get them some medicine and they're just fine with it, So when you said that, I thought that was funny, but Go ahead, Tom. I sorry to interrupt you there, but
Oh no, not at all. So we get the same complaints when Fleet Week when the Blue Angels come and do an air show. They practice, of course, the week prior for the air show. So it's great because you hear them roaring through the skies. But there's always that contingent here in San Francisco of complaining about the noise and of course rolling in like all this wasted money. And come on, it's the Blue Angels. Have some patriotism, but it's San Francisco. What are you gonna do?
Yeah,
well,
I get the same thing here. I live close to an airfield that's got a big, long, heavy-duty runway, and we get a lot of military trainers in here. Plus, we're only 15 air miles from Vandenberg Space Force.
Oh
Base
yeah, that's a big boom.
Yeah,
when
so
they
we get a lot of traffic. I got a couple of neighbors that are, they're going, "Oh man, it's just so annoying." So let me tell you about what those boys are doing up there. So that is the sound of freedom, right there. So this country is home to the most well-equipped, strongest, Air Force on the planet, and we need to keep it that way. So I got no problem paying taxes to, run the jet fuel through those, F-5 Tigers that those guys are training in up there. Let them come by and, blast the tower a couple of times. I want those boys to win when they're in the air. I don't want them coming in second best. And so
that, sir, is what your tax money should be going for.
Yes.
That alone.
Absolutely. I had got no problem. So you start talking to those people about that, go, oh, well, I hadn't quite looked at it that way. So, rejoice in the fact that we're spending some money to keep ourselves protected. And remember that those 21-year-olds up there are in control of a $15 million aircraft, and they're not crashing them, and they're not crashing them because they're out there practicing.
Yeah.
Well,
that's always been my argument when people say, "Oh, well, it's a waste of money. These football games, NASCAR races, they do these flyovers. That's just a waste of tax money." And so my response to people most usually is like, well, so whatever you're doing and you want to be the best at it, you got to practice, right? I'm like, well, yeah. I'm like, so these people have to get airtime. They have to get seat time so that they can stay sharp and everything. So why not do it during the time when, 50,000, 100,000 people can watch them? I was like, that is, a wonderful use of tax dollars. I mean, think about it. And most usually people, if they have any type of open mind, they're like, oh, well, yeah, I guess they do need to practice, And so, yeah, it's,
Yeah.
It's multitasking. It's synergy. It's great.
Anybody that complains about the sound and stuff like that, I'm gonna take a quote from one of Gizzard Gary's foul territories he had. I think it was last night. Eat a bag of them. I don't even have to say what it is.
No stones.
What was the fair one? Thus, how about thou eat a bag of
a satchel of Richards.
Yeah, he is a satchel of Richards.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a funny meme. So, anyway, yeah, I appreciate you, buddy. So, you got anything else to say, Tom? Otherwise,
okay. No, I just hope I can. We actually get to see fireworks because the it's San Francisco. The fogs might roll in and we won't see anything.
Yeah. So, anyway, I guess it's my turn. Like I said, we covered a lot of this last on Georgia Shooting Connection, and it was so fun. And I was like already planning, like, oh yeah, we're gonna do Independence Day, 4th of July talk this Saturday. And so there's a lot. Everybody has so many great answers over there last night. And for me, a lot of it was like I remember in 1976, our little town, we had a parade. We had just all kinds of fun. I mean, and it was just a blast. And our just like, Walter said, I come from a small town of like 8,000 people. I come from a small town of like 8 people. No, I mean,
You're
like
trying to be better than me.
there's probably 40 or 50 of us here, what you would call inside the roughly city limits area. But yeah, like we would just always meet up, at my grandparents' house because they lived up by the road towards, what you would call a town that we had. I mean, basically a couple of gas stations, trading stores or whatever, and, restaurant or two, but that's about it. And we always saw fireworks. We always had a lot of fun. We had the food, the homemade ice cream, pop bottle rocket fights, Roman candle fights. I mean, we sometimes, most of it wasn't, we go down on the river sometimes and we go down there. And so like everybody on one side of the creek, would shoot fireworks back and forth to each other, all in fun, And so it was a lot of fun. We just always had a great time. And, I still do, if you can't tell, I always loved the colors of American flag. I mean, our red, white, and blue. And like, I know probably it has to be somebody more my age, but everybody, remembers the Uncle Sam, the red, white, and blue, the tall hat, the jumpsuit or whatever it was he was wearing, I grew up with Evil Knievel, the red, white, and blue. I mean, there's just all that stuff I just always loved the American flag, those colors. I mean, and so it was really easy for me to adapt to once I got old enough of what it meant and what it stood for and everything. I just, I chose, my brand name as American Hillbilly just because I just love, the freedom that we have, the colors of the flag, what it stands for. I mean, it's just so exciting. And then as an adult, oh man, after like we'd always, go to my grandparents most usually to shoot fireworks up there in the town. But then when I started growing up, we had, started having kids. They were young. We do some of that, and also we have a really beautiful, nice lake here. So they didn't always do it on 4th of July. They do it on a Saturday night. However, 4th of July, came. So like they were doing it tonight, since 4th of July was on Tuesday, because we do have a tourist industry here. So a lot of people come down in this area for our lakes and everything, creeks and everything. And so like you out on water and they're sitting on these fireworks and, just like Jamie is talking about, seeing the reflections off the water and everything, it is really a blast. It's so much fun. It's got so big now that I wouldn't dare go out on the lake now because, I mean, you literally could walk from, shore to shore just across boats. I mean, it's just.
Let me interject something here about the colors of our flag. This is coming from my physics background. So if we look at red, white, and blue, human beings are able to perceive just a very narrow band of the light spectrum. Red is at the long,
especially males.
Yeah, well, yeah, you know how we are.
Very narrow.
But red's even narrower than the women. But red is at the long wavelength end of what humans can see, and blue is clear at the other end of the spectrum, at the short wavelength end. And so when you think about those two colors, they encompass the spectrum of what human beings are able to perceive as far as colors go. They're on both ends of the spectrum. And if you mix everything together that's in between those two, and put those into your eyes all at once, you know what you get? You know what you perceive as a human being? White.
White.
So when you look at the colors of our flag, it sort of embodies what America is really all about. And, we are about encompassing this whole spectrum of humanity as much as we possibly can. And when we mix everybody else together, white, that's, and I'm not talking about race here, but the mixture is who and what we are. And those colors, in a way, can represent that fact as a piece of America. Okay, I'm done. that's
That
the
is
physics
really
lesson for
great,
today.
Walter. Thanks for sharing that, buddy. I mean, Hillbilly Nation, you guys learn something here every night. You know, we have fun, and plus you learn stuff. Can't beat that.
We're gonna have to do a "What did you learn?" now. Is that right, Gizzard?
Yeah, I'll allow that.
You're
I'm
you
going
got the copyrights on that, so
Nah, I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
I'm going to learn how to tell y'all good night because I got to go to bed.
you going to bed, Jamie?
No,
Yeah,
Jamie.
I want to say one thing before I bug out of here, though. Are you guys talking about bottle rocket wars? Y'all a bunch of wimps. Let me tell you
Here
what
it comes.
we, of course, being boys and being kids, everybody ran around in Georgia without a shirt on. We had Roman candle back.
Oh, okay. That's what I figured. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
They don't make bottle rockets in 270 Winchester, do they, Jamie? I don't know.
if they
Just
don't,
asking
they
for
ought
friend.
to.
All right.
Guys, thanks for having me. I got church in the morning. I got to teach a Sunday school class. So,
Well,
y'all,
Jamie, thank you so much for coming on.
Have a good one, man.
You want go ahead and tell about what you got coming up and everything real quick, where you got to jump off here?
I'm working on the first episode of the 308 Winchester Load Series, and I'm hoping to have it up by the end of the weekend, if not early, and next week. And I'm just, of course, Friday nights at 8 o'clock, Georgia Shooting Connection. So y'all come tune in, y'all check us out. I believe you'll like it. So again, thanks for having me. All you guys have a great holiday.
You too, sir.
You too,
You
man.
too,
Thank you,
Jamie.
Jamie.
Thank you so much for coming on,
All right,
guys.
Jamie.
If you ain't been to Jamie's channel or Georgia Shooting Connection, make sure you get over there, check it out, get subscribed. You won't be disappointed. Thank you, Jamie. Have a
Thank
good night,
you.
buddy.
Peace.
Teach them well, Jamie.
Take care. We had a software glitch a while ago. I didn't type 3 times. Some guy come in here and says something. A Ranger said something earlier. So something's going on with the software. Anyway,
Do
never mind.
what?
It's just going to bring it to your attention, Hillbilly.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't guess.
I typed earlier. It went 3 times into the side chat.
Yeah, I just had that happen too.
Yeah, a Ranger come in and said he couldn't, adios, he couldn't see something. I can't remember what he said. I'd have to go up there and scroll.
Well,
Something was not working, he said. So he, adios.
well, if they're coming in on a link, shared link, Moondog's sharing it and stuff. And so
Oh, yeah.
they I'm trying to post them like so, like this one right here.
Mhm.
This will not show up unless I post it. For it to show up on the main chat, they have to hit the link to this show. And so that's another thing. If you are coming in on a shared stream, you'll have to hit the link to this show for the deal to pick up the giveaway, so you can get entered in the giveaway. So in order to type in the hashtag HBN, what is it, 26, you'll have to do it on this chat on the main screen for the giveaway deal to pick you up. So
Yeah, he says something is messed up. Nothing is coming through. Adios, an angry Ranger. That explains it. Yeah.
okay, so like yeah, if it's on a shared stream, yeah, you
Right.
have to share the link and see. I believe. Hang on, let me put the link right here. So you have to click on this link, and then type in the hashtag HBN26,
Right.
and it'll bring it up on the main screen. And then the giveaway tool will pick you up. And so
Yeah, StreamYard's not quite there yet for
they're getting
meshing.
close. Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, from a shared site to this one, they're close, but that's one little glitch that we're living with now.
Yeah.
According to them, it was by design when I asked them. So.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. They never
Okay.
intended for that to work that way.
All righty. Well, I hope they can. I wish they would,
Because it's kind of a YouTube limitation. It has nothing to do with StreamYard. So
okay.
Oh, okay.
It's because what the deal is, like, we've noticed it. I know with Georgia Shooting Connection, and stuff, like, I'll share their stream, and so even though a lot of people on my channel is subscribed to Georgia Shooting Connection, not everybody is. So when I share it, you know, they're able to see it and they're like, "Oh, I really like this channel," you know. So then they can move over to Georgia Shooting Connection. Their stuff will show up on the main chat, what they type in for the giveaways or whatever. And but a lot of people just like sitting there and watching. You know, they don't ever say nothing. And so what it does bring traffic to, you know, the channel that you're sharing, because I'm pretty sure we've seen like a, you know, fairly good number jump, you know, like on Georgia Shooting Connection when you know, we're sharing it. And so it's just the opportunity to help out a friend that, so, you know, they can access the live that you're on, you know, like for you, Tom, they can access and watch this, but then from your side, whereas they might not know about my channel or, you know, Georgia Shooting Connection or some of those others. And so it really helps bring our community together. And so
I'm posting up your links on the side chat on those other channels that I'm sharing on.
yeah. And that they only have to do that if they want their text to show up on the screen where everybody can see it. Otherwise, if they're just listening or they don't want to get in the giveaway, then they don't have to. You know,
who wouldn't want to get on the giveaway? So definitely, definitely click that link.
You betcha. And so I know it still has, like, you know, a few bugs and this and that, but, you know, I mean, we're all about just you know, bringing communities together and just having a good time. And so, real quick, we're going to get this giveaway. So if you are on Moondog's channel, hit the link, get over here and put in, if you want the giveaway, hashtag HBN26, and that will get you entered in the giveaway. And we're going to do that here just within a few minutes. And I'm going to finish my deal and then we'll go over to the giveaway. The adult side of that, what I really, really, you know, means a lot to me. We started doing fireworks when I had my kids at our house. And it's something that, you know, is just growing. And so, like, every year, you know, friends, but, you know, basically family, the kids and their kids, with, you know, they show up, we shoot fireworks, we cook out, we swim, you know, and then we shoot fireworks when it comes, you know, to, you know, at nighttime. And so it's just something, it's just like, for instance, my youngest daughter, her husband, which is from the Philippines here legally, and he joined the service and he's stationed in Colorado Springs, Colorado. And so when I sent the kids a group text, I'm like, "Hey guys, you know, we're cooking out tonight, and then we're also going to do it Tuesday, you know, and everything." And she sent me a message back. She goes, "This is the first time I can ever remember that I'm going to miss 4th of July, you know, at your house, you know." And so, you know, here she's married, they have a kid, you know, and so, you know, it's something that it's so nice to start new deals, you know, with your children and grows into your grandchildren. And so, I mean, you know, going and get, you know, go get the fireworks, you know, when I was younger was, oh, you know, we get all this big stuff, you know, all this, you know, stuff that I want to see. Well, now, yeah, we'll get some big stuff to show off, fireworks, but, you know, we're getting You know, the little stuff, the sparklers, you know, what's the grandkids want? What are they going to use, you know? And so, you know, that just, you know, it's so exciting and so fun for us, you know, with the fireworks part. So anyway, let me bring up here.
How many's in the giveaway so far?
We have 28 people in the
Cool.
giveaway. Okay. We'll go ahead and give just a few more minutes and I will show what we're giving away tonight, guys. Let me bring this up here because there might be some people in here that know this is what I've been giving away, and it's a really cool knife. So this is Albatross is the name of the company. It has a nice straight blade on it and a serrated blade here. It has a bottle opener, and actually I've used this thing to pry all kinds of stuff with. It's metal. It's pretty tough. I mean, it's a pretty tough knife. Now on this side, it's got a window breaker, glass breaker. It's got a seatbelt cutter or rope cutter. And then also it has, whoops, I dropped it. It has a fire stick here that works really nice. And then also on this side, it has a flashlight, LED flashlight with a magnet on the back of it. And so this is something that we got. Oh, it's got a belt clip too. And it is all metal. So we got that, and like, it's great. We have one in the console of each one of our rigs. I have one in my range bag, you know, one in my to-go bag, you know, so it just comes in handy, you know. You need something. I actually, I used this the other day. We were shooting, and I couldn't get the pin out on my AR. It's kind of like stiff. So I used this little window breaker to get it started, you know, push through, and then I still couldn't get it. And so I actually used this right here, the bottle opener part, to get the edge of the other side of the pin and start and get it out a little bit enough where I can get a hold of it. So, I mean, I even used it just this last weekend, you know, at the gun range, you know. So, I mean, it's pretty handy dandy little thing. So, anyway, I think everybody's had a chance to get theirs in. Oh, yeah. Moose said he used it last weekend camping. Awesome.
I got one. It's nice.
And if you do win, they come in 4 different colors: black, red, green, and blue. So anyway, here, let me put this up here so everybody can see it. Yeah, here it is. So anyway, whoever wins, you can contact me at this email. Tell me what color you want. Give me your mailing address, and we will get it sent right out to you. So let me get the screen pulled up. Here we go. So we have 28 people entered in the giveaway. So we'll wind this thing up and give it a spin and see who wins. Dwayne. All right, Dwayne. Congratulations, buddy.
Dwayne.
Cool, Dwayne.
Congrats.
Good for you, man. You deserve it.
I am going to write your name down here, buddy. And get a hold of me, Dwayne, at this email address, and let me know where you want to ship it, and include like at least a name or something on there. So some people forget that and like, well, I need a name for this address, and then what color you want. Like I said, black, red, blue, and green. So congratulations, buddy. That's awesome. All right. All righty. So anyway, let's get to the next topic, guys. Let's see where I'm at. Oh, okay. Yeah, here we go. So this is the next topic. Since we've been talking about fireworks and everything, I thought, it'd be fun to name some of the fireworks that we really, really like, and it seems to me like the names kind of change. It's like, for 2 or 3, 4 or 5 years, you'd be like, yeah, I want this. This is called, the Hell Bent Twister or whatever, And then you go back and you're like, what? You don't have that anymore? And you kind of find out, well, yeah, they do, but it's under a different name. But, so like what kind of firework, some of your favorites, what they do. So, anyway, Bubba, we'll just go ahead and start with you, buddy. I'm just going to say quarter stick of dynamite.
My favorite ones was snakes.
Yeah.
That was my favorite one. Snakes and smoke bombs were my favorite. Smoke bombs for other reasons. Had nothing to do with the firework itself. Had everything to do with messing with other people. All right? Nothing at all to do with the firework itself. There's especially when I was working construction and stuff, people like go and use the porta johns or forget to lock it or whatever. Pop one in there, shut the door on them. Back the backhoe up to the door so they can't get out. Stuff like that. But the snakes, I just enjoyed just because it was. So I like anything interesting.
I was going to say disgusting.
Snakes are interesting in the fact of how they function and how they work. It's this little bitty hockey puck, and you light it, and it just grows and grows and grows and grows and grows, and you're just like, what in the name of God is going on here? So I always enjoyed snakes. Roman candles were fun too, but I got in too much trouble with them. I was not allowed to handle them anymore. So
I'm wondering that too, Yoga.
And bottle rocket.
Yeah, well, that's so funny that you said that because just tonight my grandkids, anytime they love, like I said, they're six of them's girls. The youngest one is a boy, or second the youngest one's a boy, and but the girls they love the snakes, and then they'll get them on their hands and they'll wipe like war paint on their face. They have black marks under their eyes and this and that. And one of them come in tonight and she had a beard. She made an entire beard all black.
What's that one thing's called? They're like little bitty white rolled up tissue pieces of paper, and you throw them on the ground, they pop.
Snappers or poppers.
I know what you're talking about. I can't think of the name of them.
Now, when I was a kid, I always just put them in my hand and went like that. And now I'm just told you shouldn't do that. It's just like, why? Well, because it's going to hurt you. I've done it my whole life. What's going on? Anyway, those are the three. I don't have, a lot of times whenever everybody asks me what my favorites is, I don't have one favorite. I don't believe in one favorite because it's the same thing with guns and stuff with me. I do have one I hate, but I'm not going to say it on here because I'm probably going to put one on a barbecue in a video here soon. But
oh yeah,
but I can't just say one thing for sure because there's a lot of things I like. And I don't like anything more than the other. Like if I had kids, it'd be the horriblest thing in the world because the kids are going to think one kid's liked more than the other. It's like, no, it's like, it's so one of those being a little piece of trash once in a while. It's like, yeah, I might be getting on that kid more often than the other, but it's
those cherry bombs.
My nephews asked me that question. Which ones are your favorite? It's just like, well, all of y'all have nicknames, so I must like all y'all equally. And by that, I don't like none of you. Like all my nephews and stuff all have different nicknames and stuff from me because of this. So,
all right, Mac Man, what's your favorite to watch or light off or?
Oh, it's got to be the ones that go the biggest boom that rattle everything and go as high as you can get them. Those big mortars or big rockets.
Mortars, yeah.
Anything that rattles the windows.
You betcha. The bigger, the better. Huh?
That's right.
All right, Walter. How about you, buddy?
Well, I'm thinking back to when I was a kid, because that's kind of, other than the big shows like the cities and whatnot have, when you're a kid, it's the local, backyard and block party kinds of things. When you're real little, a simple sparkler is pretty darn cool. That's the one that as a little kid, you actually get to hold. You could be 3 and the adults would let you hold the sparkler. And you see this thing out there and you'd never seen one before, or if you did, it was because you were 2 and don't remember. And so that was pretty cool to be able to get to hold a sparkler and wave it around. And then, right when it got to the end, some adult would come over and say, "It's about to burn your hand. Give it to me." So those were fun. And then, you get a little older, and the ground flowers and the snakes, like Bubba was talking to me, I always marveled at those things. They were stinky, smelly suckers, and you couldn't wait to get up and grab one of them, and they just kind of fell apart in your hand. What in the world? What is this stuff? So those were fun. We're talking about backyard stuff that you could have in my part of the country, without getting in trouble with the law. But we always had firecrackers and M80s and that kind of stuff too. And those are the, what you did when the parents weren't looking, and who set up the firecrackers? It must have been the kids over there, wasn't us. So I think for me personally, everything, it was just thinking firecrackers. They were cheap. You could buy 1 million of them for next to nothing and light off a whole tree of them. And it sounded like machine gun fire to you as a kid. and maybe that's what was the cool part of it. I don't know. But I like the firecrackers.
Man, that big long string of the Black Cat firecrackers.
Yes, sir. Right there.
Yep. They go off for like 10, 15. If you had some money, you get something that lasts for like 30 minutes,
Yeah.
All right, man. I'm with you there, buddy. So, AR, what's your favorite type of firework?
M80s and cherry bombs. I must be the only one that admits this tonight in this chat, but maybe I was a bad kid or a bad teenager or whatever. I used to terrorize with cherry bombs. I'd terrorize neighborhoods, man. Front yards, boom, 3 o'clock in the morning, right down the road, throw them out of the car. I was so bad at it. My mother, one time next day, she comes and says, "You scared the crap out of your aunt last night, 3 o'clock in the morning, don't you?" And I says, "Yeah, I meant to." Because I was throwing cherry bombs. You get a white box of cherry bombs back then. I can't remember, $3 maybe. It wasn't much money. And,
Yeah,
we'd get those, man. It was fun, and we'd do the other things I can't mention. But we just M80s. I actually dissected the next generation of M80s when they came out, and I opened it up one day, and you know what was in there? A fuse and a capsule, like a pill capsule, pharmaceutical capsule, with a powder in it. So they made it look like the M80, but it wasn't the original M80. That's how those were made. Yeah. And, but I used to just love to blow up. We'd ride around, me and my friend, and we'd borrow his mother's car, LTD luxury car, and we'd just ride, start throwing them cherry bombs everywhere. Bam, bam. You may be in a parking lot, you get hit. It may roll under your feet and blow up, and everybody's screaming. Ah!
That's funny.
But,
well, I know my parents, like we had them when I was a little bit. By the time I got old enough that like my parents would let me, set those off. Like they just really weren't around. We had the M80s were still a thing, but the cherry bombs weren't. But according to like my parents, my uncles and stuff, they would burn underwater. So the thing, like at schools or whatever, they would throw one in a stool and flush it, light it and flush it, and it would blow out the plumbing, and everything. And so, I've heard a lot of stories of that happening back in the day.
I never wanted one to go off in my hand though. Back in the old days, I knew from probably the 3rd grade, them things were bad. Well, they were bad to the bone. M80s.
Yeah.
At the time. But I need to get out of here, guys. I hate to run.
That's okay,
But,
AR. I appreciate you, Elliot, being on. So,
I enjoyed it.
Go ahead and plug your channel before you get off here, buddy.
Yeah, I got a channel. Most of you know it in the side chat. I'm not doing content much lately. Well, I skipped my live stream Thursday. I apologize for that. I've got tied up past few days thinking about surgery and things. But great being on here. Maybe I'll throw up a coffee. It's a holiday. I do have a grill. I've got to pick up in the morning. I had a pellet smoker. I did not want it, so I bought another one. This is a large 1,000 something square foot pellet smoker.
Dang.
And so, yeah, I got to put it together. I'm going to be doing, I may do a live stream, even doing some smoking meat.
There you go.
Occasionally. And so, anyway, check me out on Thursday night sometimes at 8, sometimes at 9 p.m. I don't know lately. So, but I appreciate you being on here. Good seeing you all in the side chat. And I do got to get out of here. Good seeing you, Mac. Good seeing you, Gary, all of you. I like that Walker thing, man. That little old dummy is something else, isn't it? That is so funny. But great, y'all have a happy 4th, and God bless you. Take care.
You too, sir.
All right,
hopefully see you next Saturday night. Bye bye.
Good night, Elliot.
Bye,
night, man.
Hillbilly, I've got to shoot as well. I'm sorry.
All right, that's fine.
I got my wife texting
understand.
me. I might finish yet.
All right, buddy. Yeah, you want to go ahead and plug your channel before you got to get off here?
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was a great show, guys. Really appreciate it. Side chat was bouncing. Good to see you all. So Monday night, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I've got a special guest on. I'm going to be trying an interview. First interview on my channel. So you'll have a great guest coming on. And hopefully you can join us for that. 6 o'clock Arizona, 9 o'clock Eastern. So it'll be something a bit different. Get your questions ready because you can post them up there and we'll throw them out there to him as well. And I'll pop the link up later so you can all see who it is. But it'll be good. It's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Mac, man. Appreciate you jumping on. You guys go over there and see, well, Elliot's channel too. Jamie, they had to leave, and see Mac Man's channel. Go over there and subscribe. You're not going to be disappointed. Great channels, great people. So thanks a lot, buddy, for being on tonight. Always appreciate you.
Thank you, guys. Good night. Have a great 4th.
You too.
So it's kind of rotated around a little bit. So we'll let's go on down to Mark, and we'll go across the bottom. So Mark, what's your favorite firework, buddy? I think Mark's fell asleep again. Oh, I think he's fell asleep. It wouldn't be the first time. So we'll jump on over to you, Gary.
Okay, what are we doing now?
Did we skip you, Walter?
Oh, Walter, you're on mute.
Can't hear you, buddy.
Remember I talked about
Okay, I thought you did. Yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah, we're
So,
talking about your favorite fireworks.
Yeah. So Gary, your favorite type of firework, buddy?
Now or when I was a kid?
Either one, buddy. You can name more than one.
Well, when I was a young kid, of course, I liked the firecrackers because that's all my folks would buy for me, and you could get a ton of them for a little bit of money and have stuff to play with forever. But as I got a little older, I got bored with those, and that's when you started playing with the bottle rockets, and then they wouldn't let us have those anymore for some reason because people were getting hurt and stuff. So I got to where my favorite thing was those jumping jacks, and they still are. It's kind of looks like a firecracker, but instead of blowing up, they spin.
Oh, yeah.
And turn different colors and stuff. And I figured out if you time those just about right to where the fuse is about to go off and you fling them up in the air and they go whiz. Yeah. And I used to really enjoy buying those. And if I was to buy something now, that's probably what I'd buy because I still like those. Those are fun.
Oh, yeah.
I like to watch things spin and go up in the air and turn colors and stuff.
Yeah. we had some that, like, I think they were called at one point for a long time. They're called butterflies, and it's kind of the same thing. You either let them down and they'd like kind of take off, or if you time it right, you could throw them up in there, and then if you time it just right, you get them 20 foot in the air, and then they'd spin and take on off. And so, yeah, bees, I think some of those called. Awesome. All right, Moondog.
No.
What's your favorites, buddy?
Well, I think we covered a lot of them. We mentioned a lot of them. I certainly always like those those snakes, and I was just hilarious.
Yeah.
Mentioning that your I forget, it was your granddaughters or grandnieces were
granddaughters. Yeah,
we're making beards out of them. That's hilarious. When I was younger, there was a fairly limited amount of the kind of firecrackers and fireworks you could get in Southern California, and and then later they're the nanny state that it is, they banned a lot of them, and in some cases it was somewhat reasonable because we have droughts, so they don't want things that explode or fly off, but it was still always fun to at the very least you could get firecrackers. So those strings, the black cats you were mentioning.
Yeah.
So those are great because, I would take them apart. So I'd have individual ones. I remember that I figured I did my little kid elementary school physics and I realized, hey, if I encapsulated that in something, I could turn it into a rocket. So I made these little rockets out of, I think, Bic pen tops. So I would stuff them into Bic pens, and I'd make little fins, and then we would just use those and shoot off these little plastic projectiles with them. So I think those are my favorite. Those basically the kind you'd also get, and I would get them in Chinatown because they would use them for Chinese New Year. So that's where we the kids in LA would pick up their illegal fireworks. It was in Chinatown.
I hope I don't get in trouble for saying this. I don't think I could, but one of the things we did, we'd take sparklers, take like several packs of them, and they needed to be like the short ones, and like because the sparklers had like different grades or whatever, and these ones seemed to work the same or the best, and so you take this pack and like you squeeze them together, and you take like the center two and you pull them out an extra couple inches. Then you take a roll of black tape, electrical tape, and you just start wrapping them tight and tight and tight. And you use about 2 rolls of black tape on that sparkler. And it looks like a big black carrot with a couple sparklers sticking out of the center. And my goodness, that thing, you light it and you set it on the ground, you lit it, and you ran. Because when that thing went off, it would rattle the windows.
Oh, no.
in houses for like, 2 or 3, neighbors at least, just out of sparklers. And over the years, the last probably 5 years, we've not been able to get those certain sparklers. Because I think they caught on with social media and all that, people videotaping it. And, them doing that and getting a really loud boom out of them. And so, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. Man, I remember growing up, like the bigger kids, they could do the black cat firecrackers and stuff. But I had to use what they call the lady fingers. They were like a little small firecracker. They used to do a boop. Like I think you could hold one in your hand, and like Bubba says, those little poppers, it would be much more than that. And so I remember finally being old enough to graduate up to my parents would let me shoot off the black cats. And my uncle, I had an uncle that was only 6 years older than me, and so him and his friends, I'd run around with them a lot. And so, they get like the string of them and they light them and they throw them, you know, in there, and you pop, 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 you know, just go everywhere. And so I was going to do that one time, and man, I held it too long, and they went off in my hand, and I literally had to go get stitches in my hand from those.
Oh man, at least you didn't lose it.
Yeah, no kidding. But,
Oh, I don't want to be a downer. Actually, I worked with a buddy of mine, Gary Rosansky in New York, and he had no hands. He was he
kidding.
was an amazing illustrator. He could draw like crazy, but he lost them when he was 5 years old because he got a hold of an M80 and he was, you know, messing around with it at home, and then he lit it off and he panicked, so he dropped it into the sink, and then he panicked and he didn't want to, you know, it to mess up his parents' sink, and he wasn't thinking because, you know, 5-year-old, so he covered it with his hands, and he lost his hands through that. But you know, he's a great guy. He never complained about not having hands, and like I said, he was one of the best drawers I've ever seen.
My goodness.
So, I'm sorry, that's a kind of a bummer story, but
yeah, no. I mean, yeah, it happens. I mean, I mean, I planned on getting burnt at least 5 or 6 times every 4th of July as a kid. I mean, if you did not get a burn on you somewhere, it was not a good 4th of July.
Yeah, it's like you
know,
hold the sparklers,
somebody turning around with a dang punk and stabbing you in the arm on accident. You know, I mean, you know, you just planned on getting burnt every 4th of July, you know, in some form or fashion. You know, it's just, you know, that's just how it was.
Or when, you know, somebody shot off something into the air, you'd always get a little bit of embers or something in the back of your shirt. Yeah.
Yeah. And I learned at a young age, our like convenience store or whatever, like we call it trading post around here. But, you know, they were able to sell fireworks at the local little store there. And they had it's just a little rocket, and it's on a little plastic stand and had little 3 legs come down and all that stuff. And they were 10 cents a piece, which was a little more because you get a whole gross of bottle rockets, you know, a dozen bottle rocket packages of bottle rockets for like $2.50. Well, these are 10 or 15 cents a piece. So they were a little higher, you know, to buy, a little more money, but, you know, they made a whistle up and then blew up, you know, and they didn't have a very long fuse on them things. And so I was leaning over, it wouldn't light. So I was like covering up the wind, you know, with one hand, trying to light it with the other. And that dude had a short fuse on it, and it hit me right in the face and blew up. And it literally singed my eyebrows and stuff.
Did you have uneven eyebrows for a couple of weeks?
Yeah. And I remember going in, my grandparents, and like, you know, they put some, you know, lotion on it or whatever, aloe vera, I'm sure, and off of aloe vera plant. And then I remember laying down on the floor and sticking my face over the air conditioner vent, the register, so cool air would blow up in my face, you know. So, but yeah, I love the Roman candles, the pop bottle rockets, the mortars. I mean, this is about everything that we've talked about here tonight. I mean, it's just so much fun. I mean, I literally got in trouble an hour or so ago for the kids were on the trampoline and we're shooting off some fireworks. And so like I threw a little bumblebee or whatever, you know, they just spin, they don't go anywhere. So I tossed one over there underneath the trampoline, which is up off the ground. All the kids are like, you know. And so, I mean, I always get in trouble every 4th of July, even as an adult, you know. So, yeah, it's just how it is. So. But anyway, so we'll go around the room. We're going to end this here real soon, and we'll just go around the room and let everybody plug their channel. We'll just go ahead and start with you, Moondog, since
Sure.
You got your mic on, and we'll go around the room and tell us what you got coming up, buddy.
No worries. I've just started posting up videos and shorts from my airsoft event that that Mark over there and his son attended as well. So if you'll go to Moondog at Moondog Go, YouTube at Moondog Go, you'll see some of those shorts, as well as a highlights video. The one that's going to be coming up is I was lucky enough to see a player knife kill 3 people in a row.
Oh yeah.
When you play airsoft, if you can use, depending on the rules in a particular game, you can use mock handheld weapons, including like rubber knives, to simulate. Like, of course, obviously, if your airsoft gun goes down, you have nothing else, so you can use. So he literally just walked up to 3 guys. They were, they didn't think he was a threat, and he just tapped them with his. Anyway, you got to see. You'll see the video. It's
that I gotta watch that. Yeah, that sounds like fun.
And I've got a review of the Monstrum Raider, the 2000 Lumen Light coming up. That's going to be up tomorrow. So if you go to YouTube at Moondog Industries, that'll be going live tomorrow morning. So check that out.
All right. Awesome. Definitely will. Guys, get over to Moondog's channel. Check it out. Subscribe. He has like 3 really good channels. And so go check them all out. They're very exciting, lots of fun. His production is just wonderful. I mean, I wish that I could do a production like he does. It's just so amazing. So anyway, appreciate you, buddy, for being on tonight.
Of course.
And so, Gary, what you got coming up, buddy?
Oh, the usual. I got my weekly live stream, Foul Territory, Friday night at 9 p.m. Central. And I've got a video out on some sites this past week. Hope everybody gets a chance to take a look at it. And thanks for having me on as usual. Sorry I was late again, but always glad to be here.
That's okay, buddy. I was late too. That's my show. Thanks goodness to Bubba and everybody else for doing what they do, man. That awesome.
Bubba's all right. I don't care what everybody else says about it.
Yeah, I guess he's okay.
Well, I think Mark might still be sleeping. So it's gone up to you, Walter. If they're Mark,
right.
you can say hey, but I think he might still be sleeping.
He might have had other issues come up. Who knows? Anyway, hey, thanks a lot, Hillbilly, for inviting me to be on. As always, I'm honored and to be able to participate in this chat. Just a bunch of great folks around here, aren't there? It just really is an amazing community. I love every minute of it. As far as my own channel, I'm looking over here at the side chat right now, see who's still here and hung out with us this long. And most of you guys already subscribed to me already, and so you know what I'm up to. My channel is mostly about reloading and bullet casting, and I've got both feet in hot water with YouTube right now. I've got another month to go before I'm off YouTube probation, before I can try anything even halfway inappropriate. So most of my stuff's going over to Rumble, my Rumble channel right now, and I put a little blurb up on YouTube that says, "Hey, go over here to this other outfit and watch the good stuff."
Yeah.
So that's what's going on. And I had 3 or 4 videos out this week with some casting and some reloading, and I got a little bit more coming up. And I've got the Moldy Monday series going, where I'm doing a different mold that I've had in my collection but never cast, and we're up to almost like 20 right now, and I've got at least that many more that are just sitting in the drawer that I've collected and never used. So we got Moldy Monday coming up on this coming Monday, and I've got a new firearm coming in, and we're going to use that for the Lakeview Outdoors, my first gun thing. That's kind of a different story there, but we've got a fundraiser going for Lakeview, whose wife is in real serious medical problems right now and needs our help. So if you haven't looked at the Scottish Americans channel, go over there and subscribe to him and take a look there. And I'll have a blurb up later this week about that fundraiser. And let's see what else is going on with me. Yeah, pretty much it. I got family coming in for next weekend. And so that's going to be fun. Your cousin that I haven't seen from Kentucky for decades. So that's going to be fun too. So that's what's going on with VA Ho. So, from the VA Ho bench, that's all she wrote.
Right. I think we all got a cousin from Kentucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bubba. Anyway, thanks so much, Walter, guys. Go over and check out Walter's channel. Get subscribed to him. You will not be upset. He has great stuff. I mean, really good stuff. His Moldy Mondays are awesome. Everything. You may have to jump over to Rumble to watch some of this. Well, right now, definitely to watch it. But anyway, make sure you get on there and check him out and get subscribed. Bubba, real quick before we go to you, I want to remind everybody, there's not much time left, but if you possibly can, get you out a video, shooting a gun, just something. Use the hashtag Let Freedom Ring, and schedule these to be posted at 5 o'clock Eastern on the 4th of July. And what it does is it'll flood YouTube and every place with a lot of this hashtag. There are people posting these videos all at the same time, and say something good about our Second Amendment. Let people know that we're proud of our Second Amendment, and let freedom ring. A lot of people might be shooting some steel, or some people might just be talking. If you look, if you type that in on a search, you'll see what other people have done on some videos in the past and stuff. But it's a really great deal. Make sure, if you possibly can, to get out a video, use the hashtag, all one word, all small capital, because that's how hashtags work. Let freedom ring. And, just get something out there if you possibly can. And we'll just let people know that, we're proud of our freedom. We're proud of our Second Amendment, and stuff. And, AM or PM? It is PM, 5 o'clock PM Eastern time. So, like me being in Central time, I gotta have mine posted at 4. And I think DM and Walter, you guys been on the West Coast. You guys post yours like 9 o'clock in the morning or something. I mean,
yeah. Yesterday, it starts yesterday.
Like lunchtime, I think, or something.
You could, and for those of you who don't do YouTube often, you can schedule something to go live at a specific time. So just be sure you make use of that setting.
Yeah, you can go on there and you say, okay, I want to schedule this. No matter where you're at, you can set that to Eastern time, 5 o'clock Eastern time. Great idea there. I mean, Doug, great idea. And it's just show, our community of Second Amendment, and that we're very happy and very proud to have this freedom. So anyway, Bubba, what you got coming up, buddy?
Well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it for the Let Freedom Ring video, which kind of sucks. But it's just because it's been raining out here in Kentucky so much, and I can't really get back to the back roads while it's raining.
Well, some of us need some of that rain, buddy. So, back that up and send it to us.
Take it all. I don't want it. But yeah, I got the 7.7 Arisaka barrel coming in here soon. So we're going to be figuring out what I want to do with that, whether I want to build a wooden stock for it, or whether I want to just have my buddy print out a high grade polymer custom stock for it. Not 100% sure. If I go with the wooden stock, going to have to get the trigger guard at the bottom and stuff like that, parts for it. But and I got to find a bolt. So if anybody has any information on a 7.7 Arisaka bolt, let me know. Type 99, just saying. Yeah, gonna be doing some stuff on that. Just got a couple parts in for the 5.7 build that I'm doing, and yeah, that's about it really. Hopefully, I have a range day video. I'm still editing the daggone 22 LR video I did for the Eco Speed, the zinc bullets or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, still working on that. Hopefully, having some more stuff to the shooting bench here soon, or the reloading bench rather. I forgot. I keep on forgetting I switched it. I don't know how I did because I had to drill into that thing, but whatever. Yeah, that's about it. Other than that, shout out my buddy over at Hamilton Outdoors. Go watch his stuff. He's a real good guy, and he was one of the first people to help me out on YouTube. So definitely go check him out.
All right, buddy. Man, guys, go over, check out Bubba's channel. Great channel. He's always busy working the hours that he works. So, like a lot of us, sometimes he don't have the opportunity to get to the range or, get out and shoot, sometimes. So, but man, his videos are great. Go over and subscribe and check him out. And I just want to thank you guys so much for being on tonight. Everybody in the panel is just, Mark must have woke up and like, I'm going to go to bed. Anyway, in the side chat, guys, there's everybody. I know there's not a whole lot of us left on here right now, but this video does get watched a lot tomorrow too. So, I mean, so people watching on these, the next day or later on, go check out these people on the side chat also, including everybody on the panel. There's a lot of people that have so many great YouTube channels. I mean, just such a great community that I'm very happy and very proud to be a part of. And so anyway, I want to do something special here tonight. I'm going to come back right after this video and we'll say goodnight. But I have a friend. He is a legal immigrant, and he got to play this song in front of several hundreds of people, and it is a big deal in his life, and I'm really proud of him. And he talks about how he loves America. He's so great to be here, and with, his family here and everything. And so I want to share this video, and then we'll come right back and say goodnight. So, if you guys don't mind, hopefully it'll stream just fine without any problems. We'll try it anyhow. So, anyway, here we go. I'm not getting no volume. Doggone it. Hang on a minute. I don't know.
When you share the screen, there's a checkbox that says, I believe, includes sound or something like that.
Okay. That must have been what I did. Let me take this back off and try it again.
Sure.
Because it's really exciting. See if this works. Don't buffer on me.
Oh no.
Really?
Come on, baby. Here it goes.
I'm not getting any sound.
You guys not hear it?
No.
No.
I've got it. I can hear it.
He looks like he's doing some Jimi Hendrix.
On a
There's a
guitar.
Jimi Hendrix with a keytar. Which, by the way, those are some very interesting instruments. I miss them. It was an 80s thing, I believe.
Definitely 80s.
It's before my time.
Hair bands and shit. Oop, I cussed. Dang it, I gotta put a quarter in a swear jar.
This silence is brought to you by Hillbilly.
Is it because you're muted, Mike? Or? I guess
Might
that wouldn't
be.
matter.
If it's playing through his computer speakers, maybe his mic could pick it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna try that right now. What the heck?
Experiencing interruptions. Find out why.
You hear that?
No.
No. Doggone it. Well, I guess we'll just have to have faith that it was a good one.
I can't believe you guys can hear that. I can hear it loud and clear.
Well, now your sound's kind of funny.
Yeah.
You sound like you're in a tin can. At least to my
Yeah. No, his sound was off too.
I blame Batman for this.
But why?
I didn't do
I don't know.
it.
You can always blame Batman, I'm telling you.
I didn't do it.
Doggone it. Man,
Yeah,
he did
well.
such a good job. Anyway, I tell you what I am going to do. I shared this on my deal here.
Shut up, Moo.
Let me try this one more time. And if it does not come through, then I'll just share the link. Okay, I think I got it figured out now.
All right.
Okay.
We'll see if it works this time.
Okay. Yes.
All right.
All right.
Now you're going to buffer on me, you silly thing.
Come on.
Come on, little buddy, you can do it.
I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can.
Man,
Chuck,
I pay for the best internet that is available to me, the fastest. And this is what I get.
Yeah.
Just come on and play, will you?
The best laid plans of mice
When
and
I
men.
used to work at the help desk, I'd tell you to reboot your computer and try again.
Yeah, this is nuts.
That was our favorite thing to
thanks,
say.
Obama.
Yeah.
I literally played this to make sure it'd work earlier and like no problems. And then of course you come on there, got StreamYard running and internet's like ouch. So
You done?
I am
You
so
done
sorry,
used up
guys.
all your interwebs for the evening.
I guess I am.
Oh, there we go. Well, you are. There we go.
Nobody move. America, baby.
America.
Woo! Celebrate. That is a proud moment in that guy's life.
I bet.
Being a legal immigrant and getting to do that in front of all those people. I mean, I'm really happy for him. And I mean, that's just, you know, that's what America's about, man, is just being able to come and, you know, be able to do that. And look at you who showed up. Moo, what's going on, buddy?
What's going on, everybody?
Hey, Moo.
Oh, man.
Been
We're
watching
good.
the whole show, man. I was cooking for my wife, so you know, whatever.
Yeah, that's what she
But
said.
Listening to the whole show and commenting and stuff like that. So good to see y'all, guys.
Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah.
Man, I'm so glad
Not
you
a
can jump
screw at the
on.
last second.
Well, man, glad you could jump on here. We're just about to wrap this show up. Is there anything you'd like to say to everybody?
God bless America.
God bless.
You bet you, buddy. God bless America, baby. Man, guys, so thank you all so much for being here tonight. I mean, it's awesome. Enjoy this independence, you know, and freedom that we all get to share. And I want to thank you guys so much for being here. And with that being said, we'll end this show. And you guys, panel, don't go away. We'll talk on the backside here. Anyway, remember, God, family, and country, and make somebody's day better. It's super easy to do. I mean, you can do it without any problem. Just make somebody's day better every day. And if the good Lord's willing and the creeks don't rise, we'll be seeing you all again. We love you, Hillbilly Nation. Everybody say goodbye.
Good night, everybody.